The Infinite Dimensions RX-78 version 2.0 GTO Gundam, which requires the Gundam Origins Master Grade kit to complete. It needs the skeletal frame, the base, whatever you want to call it. I grabbed this simply because finding 1.0 isn't exactly easy, because I like both the 1.0 and the 2.0, but the 2.0 seems a little cooler looking. It's also refined, it's a newer mold, so on and so forth. And it's readily available. 5 months ago or more, actually, probably almost a year ago, it came out that Infinite Dimensions was done with the gunpla business. There are many rumors and speculations as to why it stopped happening or why they quit. Some say it was a fear of lawsuit from Bandai. Others say they weren't making a lot of money, which would make sense. It's a niche market. And they also had other Chinese companies recasting their work and then making poorly made metal structure build versions of their stuff. It is just so much going on. It's how China works. No copyright laws. When you open this box, you realize that the quality here is phenomenal. After working with some cheaper resin castings recently to get a bearing on painting resin kits, because I haven't painted resin without using automotive paint before. And I've learned the hard way that using everything that I learned in the automotive painting area on gunpla does not work. Most of it, some does. Anyway, point being, you could tell the difference in quality from this and most other resin kits or even recasts. It's painfully apparent. The castings are crisp and clean. They are beautiful. There's so little prep work needed to get these ready for paint. It's not even funny, which is fantastic. As I stated before, I was working with some cheaper resin stuff. I'll talk about it and do a video on it later. I don't suspect that I'm going to have the same issues I faced there with these at all. Fantastic stuff. The packing, well done. It does keep the parts from being damaged. It's all separated. Good stuff here. Next up, we look at the metal parts for the bazooka. If you've seen the bazooka for this thing, it's badass squared. Everything about this does seem premium through and through. I love Infinite Dimensions work, and that is why I picked up this kit. I may try and grab another one later, since I know there's going to be a point where you can't get an original Infinite Dimensions kit, and I really don't want to bother with a recast. Hold on. We've got some photo etchings here. It even says Infinite Dimension on it. Is that not quality or what? That is nice. This is nice stuff. If only it was more readily available. You know, if only they offered the photo etchings. Please forgive the lighting issues. My camera can't handle it. Next up is the booklet. I have a love-hate relationship with this. On one hand, I love the book. It is beautiful. The photography is phenomenal. It's truly awe-inspiring, and it gives you an idea of what the color scheme for the kit is supposed to be. Look at this stuff. It's like something straight out of like a Vogue magazine or something. So beautifully done. A master painter worked on this kit, and a great photographer snapped the shots. Everything here just screams quality and premium. It's really inspiring to look at. It makes you want to get to work on this kit immediately. Unfortunately for me, I have a lot of stuff to do, so Fluffy's here. I'll buy the kit now and work on it later, so that way when I have free time, I don't shoot myself in the foot. Oh, I think I'll work on those Infinite Dimension kits. Let me order one. They went out of business. There's no more left. F me. Then you go on eBay and have to pay some sort of staggering premium to get it. Look at this stuff. It is hot. Like, this is great stuff here. Now, the hate part of the Infinite Dimensions books, they have by far the worst instructions for putting together their resin kits that I have ever seen. I mean, it sucks, really. You look at this, and whatever you see that's red, that has to be cut out. And the photos don't really give you a full idea of a step-by-step process. So, once again, to get a kit like this, you need to be, I'd say, a seasoned veteran of working with gunpla and model kits. Like, this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for a beginner builder. This is for someone who knows what they are doing. It is easy to screw this up, believe me. And these resin kits are pretty expensive. They get you on the shipping because you're shipping from overseas. The kit itself is like 70, 80 bucks. But then you pay the shipping costs. and the price just goes right up. Shipping is damn near half the price of the kit. It sucks. So you really don't want to blow this, honestly. I hate to say it, but UC, which I believe is a recaster group of gunpla resin dealers, they have the best instruction manuals when it comes to these kits. It's like a printout paper of how to put it together, but they have step-by-step pictured instructions so you make no mistake. I am almost tempted to buy a recast just for the instructions alone. And that way, you know, screw anything up, I guess you'd have extra parts laying around, am I right? Overall, the experience with Infinite Dimension stuff is always premium. It is well made. It is beautiful to behold. The art book is enough to leave on a coffee table just to make it a conversation piece. If only they just improve the instruction manual. But sadly, now that Infinite Dimensions is pretty much out of business, and I think this will be the last kit put out, you just SOL. You got two choices. You tough it out or pray to God someone who understands it puts out a video. Unfortunately, Dave's World doesn't upload enough for me. So we're all SOL. Don't look to me for like help with this sort of stuff. I know people are like, do a step-by-step build. I'm like, dude, I'm just getting my feet wet. Like, I know how to paint it, but putting it together and cutting up all this other stuff and doing it correctly, if as many mistakes as I make, I'm not the man to follow. I haphazardly complete kits. Next up is the real sort of kicker with the Infinite Dimension kit. Now, when we looked in the last book, the art book, it showed off all the weapons that the Gundam had. They all look pretty cool, am I right? Well, you only get the bazooka. That's it, kids. So, if you want the Gundam to have the original blasters and whatnot, you're going to have to buy the expansion pack for the weapons. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want the blasters, you're going to have to pony up an extra $40 to $60, not counting shipping. And the place I usually buy from, Mugen Hobby, sold out. And luckily, there are a few of these still floating around with most Chinese sellers. Thank God. I can't really say much about these because these are more straightforward. Since the weapons are 100% resin, there isn't really any major need for instructions, but they do give you a colored book anyway because, hey, might as well look at how cool it looks. This one, ironically, has the 1.0 version of the Infinite Dimensions kit, which is weird. You get all the instructions for the rest of the suit that you don't have. But on the plus side, that's the one that had the extra weapons instructions, which is weird once again, because if you bought the 1.0 kit and you open it up, you got all these weapon instructions. You're like, where's the weapons? But then again, this is classic Infinite Dimensions. If you recall the Sasabi, you would order the one part, and maybe if you were being cheap, you're like, oh, I don't need the back thrusters or whatever. Then you find out that the back thrusters actually had a lot of key components for the legs. So it was like you had to buy it if you wanted the full looking suit. Sadly enough, though, the weapons also didn't come in that pack, weirdly, which actually really, really sucks. And I don't know where to find the Infinite Dimensions Sasabi 2.0 weapon set. That really sucks. But, you know, that's life. Maybe in the course of the next couple months, I'll be able to source one because, frankly, I'm not going to be able to build it anytime soon anyway. Got way too many obligations. Well, back on point because I'm just filibustering. I was now making sure that I had all the correct parts for all the blasters. And I did. What's actually a little bit cool about this is if you pony up the cash, you get an extra bazooka. So if for some ungodly reason you ruin the first one, you got another one. Or if you like the first bazooka a lot, now you have two bazookas and you can pose your Gundam, you know, what is it, a Kimbo or something like that, where you carry two weapons at once that are the same thing. So you can have the RX-78 rocking the double bazooka. Could be really cool. I guess I'll find out later, hopefully. There's actually an extra blaster for, I think, the Earth Federation Forces. I'm shrugging. You can't see it right now, but hey, extra blaster, why not? Maybe I can use it on something else. Who knows? And that will do it for this. Since people wanted me to do a video on it, here it is. Showing off what comes in the box. It's not really anything too spectacular, honestly. And that should do it for me. I better put up the scrolling name thing. I know I have to update the Patreon name list. Please forgive me. It's a one-man operation. The ship is sinking. I got to be the captain. I got to be the crewman. I got to be the guy throwing water out of the boat, screaming we're sinking. Don't worry about it. Forget what I'm saying. Oh, this is the next kit I'm working on, the GM Sniper. Should be interesting because that one's going up for auction.